The United States has announced that Israel and Lebanon have agreed to extend their fragile ceasefire by 45 days following 2 days of high-level discussions held in Washington. And according to the U.S. State Department spokesperson, Tommy Pigott, the decision was reached after what officials described as productive talks that were aimed at preventing a renewed escalation along the Israel and Lebanon border and creating space for more structured negotiations on long-term stability. The ceasefire extension comes as the initial truce, which had been set to expire on Sunday, had already significantly reduced but not fully stopped cross-border violence between Israel and Hezbollah forces operating in Lebanon. The agreement will now remain in place for an additional 45 days, allowing both the sides to continue diplomatic engagement under the U.S. mediation. American officials have framed the move as an important step towards what they hope will become lasting peace between the two countries, including mutual recognition of sovereignty, respect for territorial integrity, and improved security arrangements along the border. And as part of the renewed diplomatic effort, the United States has outlined a more structured negotiation process. A political track is scheduled to reconvene on June 2 and 3, while a separate security-focused track involving military delegations from both Israel and Lebanon is expected to begin at the Pentagon on May 29. U.S. officials say that all these parallel discussions are intended to address both the political disagreements and urgent security concerns in a coordinated manner. The talks in Washington reportedly involved higher-level envoys than earlier rounds, signaling a gradual shift towards more serious negotiations. Lebanon's delegation was led by Simon Karam, a well-connected former ambassador to the United States, while Israel's representation was also upgraded for the latest round. However, Hezbollah, the Iran-backed armed group that remains a central actor in the conflict, is not part of the negotiations and has strongly opposed Lebanon's participation in direct talks with Israel. The diplomatic push has been strongly supported by the Donald Trump administration, with President Donald Trump encouraging a breakthrough between the two neighboring states, which have technically remained in a state of war since Israel's founding in 1948. Donald Trump has even publicly suggested a direct meeting between Lebanese President Joseph and Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, although Joseph has so far declined such engagement, citing political sensitivities and likely domestic backlash in Lebanon. Despite ongoing diplomatic efforts, tensions on the ground remain high, and the Israel Air Force has continued its military operations, targeting Hezbollah-linked infrastructure in southern Lebanon. Israel officials reported that over the past week alone, more than 440 Hezbollah-related sites were struck. They also claimed that more than 220 militants were killed in these operations. Additionally, the Israel Defense Forces stated that since the broader campaign began, over 400 militants have been eliminated and more than 1,000 weapons associated with Hezbollah have been located and seized. While both the sides continue to trade accusations and maintain military pressure, the U.S.-mediated ceasefire extension is being presented as a critical window for diplomacy. Whether the upcoming round of talks in late May and early June can translate this temporary pause in fighting into a more durable political and security framework remains uncertain, but officials involved have expressed cautious optimism that continued engagement could reduce the risk of further escalation in the region. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.